Welcome to the Christmas edition of this week's episode of Can Blue, the hockey podcast covering the Rangers and the Canadiens. I'm Ben, your Rangers host.
I'm Brendan, your Canadiens host.
And we have even more drama and trauma for me. And
great wins for us.
Oh, God, I haven't seen...
Great progress for us.
I haven't seen good wins in months at this point.
Are you guys not out of playoff contention?
We are the last. We're in last place in the Metro, tied with the Islanders, behind the Blue Jackets that you just lost to.
No way.
Yeah. It's horrible.
The drop-off was real.
I mean, it's very close still. It's like a couple points if they string a couple wins together, which I don't expect them to at this point. They could jump a couple teams, but they're below the Flyers. They're below the Blue Jackets.
Listen, there were some days where I said I hope the Rangers do badly, but not this badly.
The fall from grace has been hard and fast.
Yeah, to say the least.
So we are recording on Christmas Eve, the day after the Rangers got blown out of the Prudential Center against the Devils. A lot of different things have been happening. Some of the biggest news is Kakko gone. Kakko traded. That's why I have his jersey up,
the young
in memoriam
star
behind me. I'm going to have to retire this one. I don't think he'll ever come back. Don't blame him.
The price of those dropped down to basically nothing.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, some people might like him.
Yeah, as a novelty.
Yeah, as a novelty.
When he becomes the next superstar in the Seattle Kraken.
At the Devils game, they played the video of the draft night where the Devils took Hughes first.
Okay.
And they were showing the video of Rangers fans cheering because the Devils took Hughes, and that means they get Kakko. And Kakko's not even on the team anymore.
Dude, that is
at the rink.
Gotta say that's a hardcore.
That's brutal.
That's brutal.
That sucks.
That's pretty awesome. Not gonna lie.
I mean, I guess they run it well, but then their Twitter admin is posting a dumpster on fire going down the river, and it's the official Devils Twitter posted that with the Rangers logo
rough.
on it.
That's so
it's
rough.
tough. We're getting dunked on left and right. Some other random news. I'm gonna get to it as the week goes on, but Krieder was scratched for yesterday's game. Clearly didn't help. They lost 5-0. Rempe was ejected and suspended for 8 games, which we can talk about that. I know you have thoughts, and I mean, I think the only reason we haven't seen more moves is because the league is on a roster freeze right now. So it's I think it was the 23rd to the midnight of the 28th, which is Saturday, I believe. I could see them, having some deals being worked on right now, but nothing would be official or called on until the 29th of December. So we're kind of stuck with what we got now, but it's really, talk about, I thought Laviolette's job was completely safe, similar to how I thought St. Louis' job when they were in a skid was safe, but now it's temperature is up.
Yeah, his position is
Hot
different because St. Louis had no expectations of, you guys were up here and now you're down here. So that I do see how he might, get the chop down the line if this continues.
It just
if
seems
this type of play
what
continues.
else can you do? What else can you do?
It's not much. It's not much.
How was the week for the Canadiens?
It was a great week. We won 3, lost 1, and those 3 wins were competitive and somewhat dominant for 2 of them. So amazing, amazing to say the least. I think it was a great week for us.
Well, that's nice. I remember.
Nice.
I remember watching the Rangers and having fun and being like, "Oh, this team can win, even if they go down 3 in the first period. They can claw back and win." And now it just seems like, even if they go up 1 early, they've been letting up goal the first 5 shots in every game. It's like a lock if you bet. But they typically go down, and then when they let up 1 goal, even though they have the best goal in the league, they just crumple.
Yeah, for us this week, it was pretty much almost the exact opposite, but obviously the Columbus game, we clawed back up from being in a deficit, and in the Red Wings game, the first game that we played them, We were down going into the second or third, and we came back. So we're seeing that grit and that ability to come back from a minor deficit, which is great. And that, as we've said earlier in this podcast, in the earlier weeks, that wasn't even in the question to come back from a deficit. So it's been, ever since Laine has been back, things are clicking well. The troops are, energetic. And
does he still not
fun.
have a 5-on-5 goal?
Nope.
He has 8 power
has
play
8
goals
power play
in
goals.
what, 10 games now?
10 games, yeah.
And he's second, I think, in the league.
Second in the league, but
in power play goals, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because they had his name, but alongside it was just the team name. So it's just like Patrick Laine, Tampa Bay Lightning, and then it's a weird stat. I think he is making like history if he continues.
Yeah.
Just scoring power play goals.
Yeah.
I think he's already made somewhat of Canadiens history because he's like the first Canadian to ever do this. But
score 8 power play goals?
Yeah, but like be his first, like
have it be his first 8
yeah,
of the team.
8 of the team.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Well, I have many things to say about the Rangers this week and the 4 games that we lost 3 of, and little just interesting, like just kind of storylines in and out. I think I'm going to starting with the Predators game. I mean, it's very uneventful because it's a 2-0 loss to the worst team in the league. And I saw tweets going around that was like, Rangers with this loss have lost to the worst team in the league in back-to-back weeks, and it was 2 different teams. Because I think they lost to, who was it before? The Blue Jackets or some? No, the Blackhawks. They lost
the
to
Blackhawks.
The Blackhawks 2-1 last week, and then this week 2-0 to the Predators.
And we're up next. By the way, 2 weeks from now, the Rangers play us, and it's looking good.
That's where we're there, right?
Yeah, I know. Do you want to make a bet? I feel pretty confident this time around.
Yeah, I think we have to. We have about it.
We should.
The week leading up to, we'll figure out something to bet. And I'll take it. We have to. I mean, we won the first round, but we do seem to do well against you.
The probabilities, yeah, true. We do play hard. We do try to play hard against you, but maybe with the shakeup of your core.
I mean, I expect the team to still look different.
And it's in Montreal,
yeah.
So we're gonna bring the noise.
We'll have some fan videos from the glass. So 2-0 loss, lose to the worst team in the league again.
Where's the offense there? The Preds don't have defense.
Where has the offense been? They've scored 4 goals in the last 4 games this week, and 3 of them came in 1 game.
So you tell me they just shut down the Rangers? Like they actually did well in shutting down the Rangers?
No. What I'm telling you is the Stars, Krieder, Zibanejad. I think Panarin was out. He had like an upper body thing. But Krieder, Zibanejad, Fox have been just gone, and Trocheck too. Everyone, they haven't gotten worse from last year. Like, I don't believe that they didn't lose their skill, right? It's got to be a mental execution thing, and so many people are saying, well, Drury mishandled it because he put Kreider's name in the memo that went out to the league about like him being on the trade block. But it's just, I don't know. You got to be tougher than that. I think they're all saying the right things after the games, like, oh, we just got to like battle through. We're.
But that means nothing to me.
It means nothing, and it's the message is getting really stale because it's like, how many more times are you going to say, yeah, we just got to keep doing what we know how to do?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like
get the pucks
they
deep.
have that kick in the butt.
There's a couple players who do, and I've been saying it week over week. It's all the young guys. Brett Berard has been, he's like 5'10".
So this guy was this guy.
Well, I mean, I thought Kakko had a good year. I don't know why he got scratched. It made no sense. And I mean, maybe it's just because they thought or they knew they were going to trade him, but like
he had value.
But he was like, he's been the fall guy the past 2 years. He got scratched in both playoffs for seemingly no reason. Like, sure, he hasn't been scoring, but like advanced metrics, they've been good, and he can possess and he can drive, or at least keep possession in the offensive zone. So I don't get the management of it. It kind of falls on Laviolette, and it's like, they refuse to sit Mika. That's the biggest thing for me. Like he's been atrocious. Every goal highlight against us, I'm starting to just see him and his like long ass hair flowing behind him, like reaching or like just slightly out of position. No, I mean I don't think he's not giving effort. I just don't. He's just not all there. Like mentally, he's hurting probably, and like he's just not. He's not able to do what he used to be able to do.
Do you think they don't scratch him because since he has the no trade clause, I guess, it's like no point of scratching him?
I've been thinking about it, but it's like, don't you want your team to be better? Like, sit the guy. He's been horrible. They did it to Krieder. Kreider's been, like, after last year?
I would say after the Krieder scratch, more likely we see a Mika scratch.
It's just like, what took so long?
Right.
He's been so bad. They finally switched up the power play as of like a day or two ago, but really nothing good came from that Preds game. They lost. They didn't score. They looked hopeless, and that was Kakko's last game with the club. So
that's tough.
And he had chances. I remember watching this, being like, all right, maybe Kakko, maybe the sitting will do well for him, and he can come out and like score a couple. And I remember him again. It's been the same story his whole career at the Rangers. Like he'll have a flash of like, oh wow, if that went in, that would have been awesome, and it just doesn't go in, and you're just like, great. Like he'll make a move, he'll drive to the net. And
was the last score that he had against Montreal?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, of course, the first game he plays in Seattle, he has 13 minutes or something, like nothing crazy. Second game, he scores right off a faceoff, like
right
through the refs' legs, surprises the Colorado goalie, who I don't even know who they have in goal now, because Georgiev.
It's like 3 or 4 different guys at this point.
Yeah, God, I'm glad we got rid of Georgiev at least. So that was a Preds game. Just nothing really much fun to say about that. Leading into the Dallas game, they all flew down from, I guess, Nashville to Dallas, and the funny story about him getting traded. Apparently, he was in the sauna before like the game or like the day before, like at the hotel, and he comes out of the sauna room and he has like 3 or 4 missed calls.
In Dallas or
Dallas.
Wow.
So and he has 3 or 4 missed calls from Drury, which was like, hey, buddy, we're trading you. Pack your bags.
No.
But he was like, I gotta get my sauna in first. So he's like, oh shoot, okay, I guess. And he was outspoken against Laviolette and the decision to bench him, which I kind of respect. He came out and said, like, I don't think I've been the worst player on this team. I don't know why I'm the one sitting.
People say he got the trade became from.
Yeah,
that
I don't think it came from that. Like, there's no way.
Or just added more fuel to the fire for that
maybe.
trade
I mean,
to
it's just
happen.
like clear that he's it didn't completely work with the team there. He was disgruntled. He felt like he was getting unjustly benched, which I agree with him. Like, he wasn't the worst player, like he said. He said it's kind of easy to just blame the young guy and not sit any of the veterans. Again, very fair. And then when asked if he was going to go talk to the coaches to see what he could do better, he's like, no, I'm not doing that. They can do that. That's their job. So he was very disgruntled, but I don't blame him at all. Like,
yeah.
And I could see him.
He did nothing.
I think we know the type of player Kakko is, and if he can grow a little more, not like height-wise, but just like as a player.
I think he's reached his peak, right? He's 23?
No, yeah, he's 23. He's not peak. Peak
no,
is like 28.
No, peak as in like height.
Yeah.
It's like
yes. Why are we talking height?
Because you said height.
No. I think if he can develop as a player more, like maybe he can learn some finishing, but also like he'll be given the opportunity in Seattle more than he could at the Rangers. Like he was playing with Beniers.
That's why he's a good fit.
Yeah. When he scored, he was playing with Beniers. When like him, Shane Wright, Beniers, they have this young core group that's coming up. I know. I feel like it's the island of misfits.
Wait, I thought Beniers was a center.
Yeah.
And Wright is a center.
I might have been
they were on the Strand or something.
They were on this. I thought they were selling together, so it seemed like maybe it was a face-off play or something. But, yeah, it seems like the island of misfits. It's like oh, people passed over Wright a couple times. Montreal passed over Wright, and then he ends up in Seattle. Okay, Kakko didn't work out in Rangers. Now he goes to Seattle. It's interesting. and maybe it works out for them. I guess I'll round it up with what we got in return for Kakko. We got a 6th-round pick, a 3rd-round pick, and Will Borgen.
2025 picks or 2026?
5. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
It matters
It doesn't
because
matter.
you might be rebuilding this year.
Yeah, I guess so. But so we got this guy Will Borgen back. The thing with Will Borgen, apparently the Rangers have had him in the crosshairs. They've been wanting to get him for a while now. He's in his 20s. I think he's 27, maybe just turned 28. I think he turned 28 the day after that he got traded. So that's like, a young, not young, middle of his career defenseman that's supposed to bring size and compete. You're not going to expect him to go score.
Decently veteran and mix of veteran and still young.
Veteran in the sense that you're getting an NHL defenseman, which is good. Yep. And you're not expecting him to play top 4 minutes, which is also good. You have your depth D pieces built out, and he doesn't cost $8 million like Trouba did. So now you have Urho Vakanainen, you have Will Borgen, you have Chad Ruedel if you want to play him in that bottom pairing. You could call up Mancini to play down there. And then your top 4, Miller's been hurt, so they've been kind of moving guys up and down, but Fox, Lindgren, Jones, Schneider, right? And so when Miller comes back, he's been playing it awful this year. When he comes back, that bumps someone else down. There's going to be a little bit of competition in the bottom half of the D. Because you got rid of Trouba and because Miller's kind of, we don't know if you're going to sign him or whatever's going to happen, I think just getting that other depth defenseman piece is a win. It sucks that you're trading your 2nd overall pick for that, but like these days, that's not what he is. That's what he was, but how much more effort and just like how much more are you going to put into Kakko at this point? I get the move. It sucks because I love him, and he was kind of like a culture icon for Rangers fans for a while.
And I still think his potential can be that 2nd overall pick.
Well, just like, do you remember watching that World Junior Championship when Finland won?
Yeah.
He was so good. He was a game breaker. And everyone was saying that he had all the skills, everything that
is that when
was going to make him a star.
Is that when people were like, hey, you could be taken first?
Yes. It was either him or Hughes.
Yeah.
And God, if the Rangers got Jack Hughes, we probably would have messed him up. I could see this going both ways. I could see, the Devils were rebuilding. They had an open spot on the top line. I could see Kakko getting those minutes and being like, oh, never mind, I'm actually good. And Hughes being like, well, Hughes is a center, so it's different. We could use centers. We have no center depth. It's just whatever. I'm going down a rabbit hole here.
Down the rabbit hole. Down the draft rabbit hole.
It's horrible.
We've all been there.
Yeah. All right, that is my game, my first game. The next couple that I'll cover are going to be quicker, but I'm going to touch on the scratching, the suspensions, all that junk. So
right.
Go over to yours.
Sweet. First game, Buffalo.
Worst team in the league.
Worst team in the league. We mopped the floor with them.
They're like 13 losses.
They won last night.
Who'd they beat?
I could be wrong.
Bruins?
But it's either not Winnipeg. Yeah, I thought
it was
a
Winnipeg.
Look it up.
Oh, look. Keep going.
But 6-1 win, just a complete, just mopped them.
Islanders 7-1.
Islanders are really bad.
Well, they're tied with the Rangers, so.
Well, then, what does that say about the Rangers?
They're really bad. That's what it says.
6-1, and this is the Patrick Laine Mania that we've all been talking about this week. 3 power play goals for the hat trick, and from the same spot. There's literally no difference.
From Ovi's office?
Ovi's office, now Laine's office. Before, when Ovi is out, it's Laine's office. And this is when I was watching the game, it's so astounding to see such velocity on a puck and
the flex of the stick.
The flex of the stick, how hard the puck is just being hit by Laine, and he just makes it. He's not even look like he's straining. Yeah. He just makes it look so easy.
He's a sniper.
And that too, the second goal especially on that power play, it squeezes through Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. I've been practicing.
Okay, good.
Just through his right arm, but just barely, because he was already on the right side, and he was in position basically, but the precision of Laine's shot was able to squeeze right through at a fast speed. And Montreal, we've been waiting for having a player like this, and I'm not discounting what the players we've already had, but just someone that could replicate the same shot like that from the same position is really cool to have.
Yeah. That's what Mika used to be able to do. He used to just sit there on the power play.
That's the thing. He still can, but he needs to unlock that.
But
just like Laine.
So
just
every
like Laine.
season, right? Like you could tell if Mika's in a slump because if he sets
How he
up,
looks.
well, if he sets up in that spot on the power play and he gets a prime chance and he whiffs or he misses the net wide or high, you could tell you're just like he's not on his game. And then there'll be spurts of, oh shit, everything's going in. Everything. He's on it.
It
and
seems
that's
like
where Laine is now.
Laine's his like percentage is like over 25% on like
Shooting
shot.
percentage?
Yeah,
Oh
shooting
my
percentage, which is that's obviously gonna regress a little lower as time goes on.
Yeah.
He didn't score last night in the Columbus game. However, he did leave the first period because he was being targeted.
Which we'll talk about.
Which we'll talk about. So yeah,
Funny
Buffalo
comments.
game. We got also our fourth line is the highlight of this week because they've been on the score sheet for most games. Yoel Armia, Jake Evans, Heineman, competing also for that Calder spot along with Nate Hudson.
Get out of here.
Like
He's not even going to be in the conversation. He's not.
He could be top 5. I could see.
There's
Top 5 is significant. It's exciting because two of our rookies are on the the rookie
Celebrini,
score
Michkov,
sheet.
and Hudson are going to be the
For
finalists.
sure. Yeah.
And
I wasn't saying finalists, but
then-
he's going to be
No one's going to talk about him.
Cutter. Well, he's alongside Cutter Gauthier, which is surprising because you wouldn't think to be honest, Emil Heineman was a second round pick, but like not really in the highlight spotlight. So to be on par with Cutter is pretty above average on the fourth line.
No, it's
on the fourth line.
You should be excited, but I wouldn't call him a call. Like last year, I was excited that Cooley played so well, but I wasn't kidding myself that he was going to get Calder votes.
Yeah, but he's playing well now.
Who?
Cooley.
Yeah, but he was playing well last year too. He made the team, and he had,
but how I see it is Cooley could be like a second line top scorer, I would say. Not top, but like middle of the line, 40, 50-point guy.
Yeah.
But that's way
awesome.
above average.
No, that's awesome.
Then
I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take that for sure for us.
But
and I
not
see,
a Calder vote.
Yeah. But the mere fact that he's competing for, he's on that list.
Yeah, dude.
I think is fine.
I saw a highlight of Demidov again, just killing it in the KHL.
That's another guy that we're excited
Dude.
for. I don't know how with the pieces that are coming together,
They'll find it.
and interesting pieces like Heineman just popping up. I'm like, oh, I guess we have this guy right now, which we want to keep, obviously.
Well, yeah, but if you get Demidov in there and
You
you
get
take someone's
Demidov.
spot, you get Doc out of there.
Doc, the only player I'd say had a disappointing week is Kirby Doc.
You hate Doc.
He had a good game
You hate
in
him.
Columbus, but I don't hate him. I want him to do well.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, he was not on the score sheet at all for all these games, and we were winning.
You gotta elevate Heineman and put Doc on the fourth.
Dude, he would not like that. He would not take that well, I think.
Good.
But actually, Yoel Armia opened up the scoring in the Buffalo game, and then Laine got the second goal for the power play. But fourth line is just fantastic. They're kind of reminding me of the grinding of the, your third line, the original third line with Cooley, Kakko,
Hedl.
and Hedl.
And they're all young too.
They're
on
all
the fourth.
young. Oh, except for Armia.
Well, yeah.
But he's been having a revitalization in his scoring touch.
That's good.
He scored the first goal in this game. What else we got? Signature spot, Laine. Dylan Cousins scores, but it doesn't matter because Laine's coming in scoring anyway. And this was in Montreal, so it was just great to see the Hats rain down.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can't even after last night's game when he left. You can't argue against that. You know, Laine is not the same player who he was in Winnipeg.
It's crazy. Well, no. What about in Columbus? Like
Even Columbus.
I just don't remember him having those types of games in Columbus. Maybe I just didn't watch as closely, but like having just a snipe after a snipe after a snipe.
Same spot.
It kind of just, it seems like he's found a good spot and a good home.
And Lainer, as they call him,
Lainer
dishes it to him. He's been stacking up his points because of Laine ever since he came back, just as a first or secondary assist. And
he's poaching points.
He's poaching points, but
he's just giving it a one touch and letting Laine do the rest.
He's by when I'm talking, where we're talking, 26 points. Laine Hudson, 1 point behind Mitchkov, the only defenseman.
He could take it over. I'm starting to believe more, but I think like Celebrini's getting way more hype, but they're pushing him more because he's in San Jose.
Celebrini overall is
fun.
Just a fun, amazing player. Yeah. He's looking very good.
Yeah.
Very good. In a team that's, very bad. Like
they've been winning, dude. They win more than the Rangers these days. It's horrible.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to pour salt on the wound, so I'm not going to say anything.
Okay.
And Josh Anderson, last goal, finishes up, just buried. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, 9 saves out of 15 shots. That's terrible.
You only had 15 shots?
I think they pulled him after the 6th goal.
Oh,
we had over 20.
Really?
But, yeah, it's not looking good.
No.
Not looking good for Buffalo, and that was just a great win.
My next game against the Dallas Stars, rare win for the Rangers, coming off of the Kakko trade bump. I think when things like this happen, trades or coach firings or whatever, you typically get a bump unless it goes poorly in the locker room and then you get completely blown out. Yeah. I think you're not gonna have a close game that like you just lose. Like typically, I think it's either you just no-show completely, or you kind of win and something goes your way, right? And so that's what happened this game. 3-1 win over the Stars, who I thought were...
They're a good team.
They are a good team. They have, they're pretty much consistently in the conversation for being top of their division and, making a push for the playoff.
Although their scoring has dropped out a bit,
yeah,
like from Robertson and
That's
Johnston.
True. Yeah, they don't seem and they have like great development for their young guys, like Stankoven and Johnson, like you said.
Yeah, Stankoven's still in the contention.
Yeah.
For Calder.
Oh, really? You didn't play as much last?
No, he didn't. Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
So, look, we got a win. Great. It's kind of though like watching a car wreck. Like you can't look away when the Rangers are doing so bad. And it makes me think of like the Giants. Like, do I want them to win at this point? Because I feel like if they win, it's just like lipstick on a pig. Like, it's not making anything better.
It'd be pretty weird though to tank.
I don't want to tank, but it's just like it's been looking so bad. You're telling me trading Kakko was the answer, and it just flips everything around. It'd be weird.
Yeah, that would be weird.
So they end up winning, but they also
at what cost?
At what cost? I don't know. Like, there's people sending around like, oh, the Lafreniere, Perreault, Hagens line next year is gonna hit because Rangers are gonna be last.
Dude, there's no shot to get Hagens.
I've been seeing some mock-ups, man. If they miss the playoffs, they could sell.
Oh yeah, keep hitting the what's it called, the randomizer, and on the top pick.
Oh, they would trade it, but yeah, that'd be crazy. But so they decided to call up.
Also, low key, I think Perreault is so overhyped.
No way. We'll see in World Juniors.
We'll see in the World Juniors. I'm excited to see. Watch some World Juniors.
So this is actually funny. There's noise around New York of Sean Avery coming in and talking to James Dolan. I don't know if you saw this, but he was invited to talk to James Dolan. I think it's may or may not have to do with the Rangers actually, and they might have just been catching up for the holidays.
Yeah.
But people were like, Avery for the new GM? Maybe they're firing Chris and they're bringing Sean Avery in, which I think would be a bad move altogether.
Yeah,
but
that's
that
not
happens.
good timing.
That meeting happens, and 2 hours later, Matt Rempe called up from the AHL, and you're like, oh God, is Avery in Dolan's ear? This sucks. Like he's like making like it seems like they're making like the big hit player moves that Avery seems to be like calling out whenever he does his pointer stick thing. Have you seen those?
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen them, but you told me.
Yeah, right. He does just like a recap and calls guys out. But it was funny to see that. I don't think it is actually related, but like if to entertain
It's
the
a
idea of
coincidence,
Avery,
right?
dude. So Rempe gets called up. By all accounts, he's having an impact on the game, and like you're not putting him out there in like crazy situations, but he's a big force, and you know he can be dangerous out there, like in a positive way. Problem is that comes with being dangerous in a negative way, and he makes a really dangerous hit for like the 6th time in his career, and
on the numbers. Right.
no, it was more like a high elbow to the head.
Yeah, but he's still like Heiskanen has his back turned.
Yeah, and goes into the boards and
Elbow on the neck.
Yeah.
Lifts his feet.
He doesn't lift his feet.
There's a slight.
He's just big. He's throwing his body out there, which I understand, and that's what he has to do.
If there's space between the skates and the ice, that's lifting of the feet.
All right. I'm not gonna defend the hit because
I will say there's a bias against them. Maybe it's not 8, maybe it's 4 or 5, but
no, but they're making
8 is a lot.
Yeah, so he gets suspended for 8 games. They're making an example out of him. They're like, dude, you can't keep just coming in and
that's a 10th of the season.
Guys.
That's
he deserves it, man. He's like, and then people are like, well, what's he supposed to do? Like he's 6'9". He's 6'9". Like how is he supposed to get like
make smaller,
not suspended?
Make
and it's like, all right,
smaller.
what about like one of the best big men, Zdeno Chara? Like, did he get suspended sometimes? Yeah, but then he figured out how to do it.
He's also skilled.
Yeah. Well,
Rempe is not
listen.
skilled.
I'm not trying to compare to them any way except for their size, because I agree. Chara's going to go to the Hall of Fame, like you know.
Yeah.
But Rempe, they're similar in height.
He's
they
going
can
to
figure
the
out
Hall
a way.
of Shame.
It's also like if you're hitting, tuck your elbow. If you hit shoulder, even and if you see numbers, stop. How about that? But he's going out there. He's just flying. You know, he's trying to make.
Has he done this in the juniors before? Because I'm pretty sure you can't even hit in certain like you can't.
You can hit in juniors. What are you talking about?
Well, I guess it depends. Okay, in the NCAA, you can't.
You can hit.
You can't do those kinds of hits.
You can't do that anywhere.
Exactly. But like, I'm just saying, wouldn't he have gone through, you know, suspensions in the past to learn how to hit better?
Yeah, but maybe he's more skilled in those leagues that he doesn't have to be the one that does that.
Okay.
And he comes up and he's like, I'm clearly not the skilled guy out here, so I'm just going to go out and hit.
Yeah, he's a
honestly though, like
lumberjack.
I do. So on one hand, I see what people are saying. Like, listen, there's guys like Chara that never, you know, maybe they get suspended a couple times, but it's not a consistent issue like this. But I do think his size makes it worse. Like if he was 6'4" or 6'5" and he was throwing his body out there, I think the elbow would be less close to people's heads. You know what I mean? Like even if it came up a little bit, like in a hit, it would probably hit like here instead of like here.
He's got to tuck it in though.
Yeah, tuck it. Always tuck it.
Always tuck it. I don't think we're going to see much of Rempe anymore.
No,
to be
I think.
honest.
I mean, it might be his last straw. Like, it probably should be. But I mean, 8 games, then it's. Then
So,
you're like
what
at
is the
All-Star
consensus
break.
among Ranger fans? Do they love him? Do they hate him? Do they?
Rempe Mania last year was awesome.
Yeah,
I think.
I
Having him
would
come
think
up,
so.
he actually made an impact. He had, I think he might have had the first goal in the Caps series, or he scored a playoff goal at least. Awesome, and you could just tell that other teams were like weary of it. It's kind of gotten stale, and it seems like more of a joke. Like every time he's like recalled and then put back, the Rangers fans I talk to are like, "Oh my God, Rempe's back!" Like they just kind of laugh, like Jesus, like what is that? What's gonna? But to be fair, he came into this game. They won the game. Them playing with him, I think they're like 16-4-1.
Damn. Okay.
Like
I didn't know.
It's probably just a correlation or just a coincidence, not a correlation. But
yeah, I didn't know his impact was that potentially.
It's
great.
It's very likely not direct, but it's just like that is an interesting like number to throw out there.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. But so they won against the Dallas Stars. Great. They then go back into misery with the next 2 games, but I'll get to that after you.
Back-to-back Detroit games. This one, I'd like to highlight in particular.
Is it a home and home?
It was
One there,
away.
one here?
Yeah,
Home and
away.
home. Home for them, home for you. That's what
Yeah,
they call it.
yeah.
That's what they call
Okay,
it.
that's pretty clever.
Okay.
I like that. I like to highlight Samuel Montembeault started both games back to back.
Oh, good. Getting the reps in for Team Canada.
Getting the reps in, but it's also showing we don't trust Primo.
Yeah.
And he started in the Buffalo game, and started in these two, and then he started last night in the Columbus game. So he's getting most of the starts.
But that's fine. Like I think goalies, it's been going towards the trend of having more 1A, 1B, and like going like 50 games and 30 games or something like that. And it's, goalies used to play 60, 70 games and have their backups just play like
That's true.
whenever they were hurt or tired. So if Montembeault can...
But the league is harder now.
No, agreed. But that's what I was going to say. If Montembeault can manage that workload and you don't think you're going to make the playoffs, so he's not going to get extra workload like after April, why not play him and maybe see what he can do?
I agree, and I've been pretty happy with Monty's play as of
Especially if you're
recent.
winning.
Yeah, we're winning. I just feel a little bad for Primo because, now is his time and opportunity. I mean...
That's what the money's for.
He just hasn't been good
Don't
at
feel
all.
bad, man.
He
He
can't save the team with a couple saves even
Yeah.
for his life.
Well,
and
he's young
there was
still,
there was
right?
he's young.
Maybe he should be in the AHL. Is there another goalie you could bring up?
He's definitely waiver. Like we would have done it at this point because we would have brought up the AHL starter, but
Interesting.
the fact that we haven't, I think he is. He
Okay.
would have to
Is
go
he
through
not
waivers.
on his ELC?
No, probably not.
Oh.
No. He's like older now. He's like 24 or 20.
Okay.
But yeah, goalies are late starters. I mean, you could look at Charlie Lindgren. He's basically sharing it with Thompson.
Yeah.
And we had him when he was young and then traded him away or gave him away.
Yeah.
I forget how he left.
Yeah.
Goalies are late bloomers for sure
Yep.
in the league for the most part. And I do think we should be patient, not just give him away. But I am losing a little hope for him. I would be lying if I could say otherwise.
You'd be lying.
Laine. So
I'd be lying if I did.
in this game, again, the fourth line showing up. Emil Heineman opened up the scoring with a nice snipe. I remember you texted me.
Yes.
Like, Heineken.
Yeah,
nice job.
I know. My phone always autocorrects when I say Heineman to Heineken, but I know that he's your boy, so I try to text when I say that.
You know, that might just be his locker room nickname.
Heineken?
That'd be a pretty
Get your
sick
hand
one.
off my Heine, baby.
He got that's like his either 7th or 8th of the year, tied or in third place in goals for rookies now.
Nice.
So behind obviously celebrating Michkov
Yeah.
with 11, and Detroit, they're keeping it close. They do score. Patty Kane with probably like a signature Kane move.
Right in out.
So in tight in the corner, sharp corner.
Yeah.
Goes over Monty's shoulder, like pretty much like zero angle there, but he still scores.
The Kane
anyway.
hype in New York was pretty fun.
So why didn't he sign? Like
they didn't.
Was it not enough? Was
I don't
enough
think he
money?
was fully rehabilitated with his hip. Like it didn't look. He scored like 1 or 2 really flashy, fun goals, and then like obviously they lost in the first round of the Devils. So it was just like they didn't really think they wanted to give him the money that he wanted,
Right.
and they didn't probably believe in the player because
He's good in Detroit to mentor the young there.
Yeah.
And
no, he's working out well. I think. I mean, he's been out with injury a couple times still, but like you're paying for an injured vet, so
Detroit is struggling a bit. I mean, now
Yeah.
we're 1 point above them
nice.
in our division.
Moving up, you're clawing.
We're moving up. We're moving up in the world, and we could make a run for it. But let's see, because the Columbus game could have been better. Fourth line, again, just killing it. Jake Evans on the back check, short-handed. He's just really aggressive on the border, and then picks off a pass in the neutral zone for a breakaway. 300th game, and scores.
Evans.
Jake Evans.
Nice. So you gonna get an Evans jersey soon or what?
Evans, yeah. See, we need to update this because we got a whole new bunch of people on the squad. My brother
Christmas coming around.
My
Maybe
brother
you'll
wanted
get
a
it.
Laine jersey.
Oh yeah.
Personally, I like a Hudson because we don't have defensemen. We haven't had a defenseman jersey since Subban, so it'd be good to pick up a Hudson jersey. Even Heineman would be a fun choice. Slavkovsky, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but we have jumped the gun in the past with jerseys, like with Drouin.
Yeah.
And Kotkaniemi, we got a Kotkaniemi jersey.
Yeah, that's
I'm
tough.
not saying
I remember
Slavkovsky is
that
going to
one.
be those guys, but would like to wait until Slavkovsky starts really pouring it on. He got 2 goals this week, which I'm happy for him.
Did they sign him to long term?
Yeah, same thing as like the Dylan Gunther.
Okay, so
8 years, 7 years,
So,
8 million.
I mean,
much.
that's not a bad one to take on to get then. Like that's not a bad jersey to buy if he's locked up for
That's
that long.
true. That's true. And I think I forgot to mention, Slav did score in the Buffalo game,
Okay.
like bank pass off
Yeah.
Luukkonen.
Yeah.
For his only third, but he's climbing back up, so it's good. It's good. Detroit scores 2 back-to-back, Velino and Mott. Velino is someone that we passed up on, I think, in the draft. He's doing okay. I don't regret it, but he actually scored in both games, so he's good against Montreal.
Yeah.
And then Arbor Jackeye ties it, gets his first of the year.
Oh.
First of the year.
Not gonna get a Jack Eye jersey? Wi-Fi?
I don't know.
He's kind of funny.
I think a lot of Canadian fans do have him already, and I feel like it's not as unique.
It's similar to the Rempe Mania thing, you know.
Yeah, but you know, Jackeye could actually play defensively.
Well, he's a defenseman. I hope so.
Well, yeah, I forget. Yeah, Rempe's not a defenseman. And you know, Jackeye's got character. Rempe's got that teenage
Angst.
still, or like he doesn't know how to speak well, or he doesn't say much.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, he's not as much of a staple, I'd say, for sure.
And then last goal for the game-winning goal, Patrick Laine. You guessed it, on the power play.
On the power play. Same spot.
Same spot.
Yeah.
He instead of slap shotting it, he slows it down a bit and actually risks it, and it deflects off a Detroit player.
Nice.
We thought it was Slavkovsky, but no, it was just another Patrick Laine shot that keeps going in. Knock on wood. We win 4-3. Pretty great game. Kept it close. We came back from a deficit. It was 3-2.
Yeah.
And and then going right into the next game, Saturday night, Montreal, 5-1 Detroit. Not Detroit.
You won or did you win or lose?
We won.
Oh, that's nice.
5-1 against Detroit. Completely destroyed them. Although the Velino actually opened up the scoring.
So it was 1-0, and then you scored
that's why.
5.
And then we scored 3 in the first. Slav, he gets his 4th of the year off a deflection from Suzuki's shot. We got Armia and Carrier.
Carrier, yeah.
Another thing I totally forgot to mention, Justin Barron for Alexandre Carrier. Carrier, I'm not good with French speaking.
Alexandre Carrier.
Great fit.
From Nashville.
Justin Barron, wish him all the best. He wasn't outstanding as, defensively speaking. He had like 1 point pretty much. I think it was just 1 goal out of like 30 games he's played for us. And Carrier, he plays a more defensive defenseman type of game. He's shorter, still a right-hand shot, but a veteran also like Borgen, 27, 28 years old, been in the league for quite some time, and just like reliable. And he gets his first assist here to Armia, and then Armia kicks it over to Jake Evans once again. Top of the circle, he snipes it. I'm like, man, he's like unlocking himself right now.
Yeah.
The 4th line is just they're the ones scoring, like not even our first. Caulfield has been snake bitten. He's still at 17, and it's been like I don't know, since
And Draisaitl's been just scoring and scoring and scoring.
Draisaitl is, so he's being left behind a little. Although 17 at this point is still very
still awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
Still way above average. Yeah, and I don't see how it's gonna be hard to, if like Jake Evans, he has 21 points in 30 games, right? 33 games.
Mm.
If he keeps it up, I don't see how we're gonna keep him on the fourth. So we're gonna just saying, Doc, you gotta. Well, we all know that Dvorak is out, so he'll probably slot in there.
Devo.
He's a locker room presence. That's why they like him. They like Caulfield, is best friends with him.
We might need him then. I've kind of come around on it. We need
You
a
really?
locker room guy.
Maybe he'd be a good fit for the Rangers.
Dvorak for Krieder.
Dude, no way. It comes full circle. No way. That would not be good.
They would never do that.
Yeah, that makes me cringe thinking of that.
Yeah. People have been saying Krieder for Marchand 1-for-1, and I don't think either team would want that.
Dude, it'd be so weird seeing Marchand in a Rangers jersey. Yeah, it would not be good. It's too close. It's too close.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, it's the East Coast, and yeah, they're shipping. The Rangers have been shipping out players west, so.
Yeah, that's true. I think they want to get them far, but I could see
Maybe Colorado.
Krieder the Avalanche. I was gonna say,
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I was just thinking Avalanche would be.
That was the rumor, in 2019, that he was gonna get traded to a contender at the Avalanche, and then it never happened.
Is that when he scored 50 on 2019?
No, it was
or
the
next year.
year or two after COVID. Yeah. Okay, so wrapping up your third Detroit.
Wrapping up. Heineman he gets another plus. I don't know if I said the previous one. Laine gets his 8th power play goal in this game as well, and he's setting records. Love to see it, and he's not playing too much ice time. 15 minutes. I think his most was 17 minutes, and he's on the second line. So yeah, Laine finishes up the first period with another power play goal. Going into the second, we got Emil Heineman again for his 8th. Low shot, hard and fast. I don't see how this guy was going to stay on the fourth. Same as Jake Evans. Maybe they'll just move up to the third eventually next year. When Demidov comes, we're going to make some moves. So we don't have. There's too many good players that's coming in our system, including a couple in Laval right now, like Owen Beck, Joshua Waugh, who should, or Joshua Waugh more so than Beck. He should be playing in the NHL, to get his, experience in. Also, Logan Mailloux. I saw the Justin Barron trade as room for Mailloux down the line, because he although he needs to buckle down defensively, he's not really great defensively. He's a defenseman. He should be. He's a somewhat of an offensive defenseman. Hudson is that, but could secure defensively. He's pretty good defensively, Hudson. Although he's made a couple of mistakes, which is totally fine. I think he made a mistake in this game in a turnover. And then Josh Anderson with a pass to Gallagher at the top of the circle, looking like vintage Gallagher, just snipes from far out. I was like, where? How did this guy score that goal? He usually gets those dirty goals, down low. And just an absolute missile, top corner over Alex Laine. And there you go. People are just, once you get you could see how
Laine coming back is it's a snowball effect of the culture changing, and everyone being like, wait, we all have skill, we can all win. And it also helps knowing that you have an absolute killer of a shot out there. It takes the pressure off of the other players.
And I think that's the most important thing. There has been too much pressure on the first line to score. With not having the confidence in the first line, you can't expect the depth scoring to compensate for that all the time. So with Laine there, they've been more helping out the first line in terms of the scoring. Although, and I like to see that change a little bit more, especially for Susan Koff. But that was the game, 5-1, easy win against Detroit. Monty getting another win, especially in the back-to-back, so hats off to him.
Going into my last 2 games, actually, just because combined 1 goal in 2 games and let up 8. We're supposed to have good goaltending.
Did Borgen play?
Borgen's been in and playing. He's been fine. everyone's sucking, so it's kind of like I'm not going to just jump on the new guy or any of the new guys that came in from the trades. But the first of this back-to-back, both divisional too, against the Hurricanes, you kind of expect it to be a tough one because the Hurricanes are built the way they are and the Rangers have been playing the way they are. VC actually scores like within the first 25 seconds for us to go up 1-0, which is funny because I think his name was in some trade rumors like before this game, just saying like he's one of the guys.
He's still on the block though, right?
He's on the block, but he's one of the guys you can move pretty easily and you could probably get something for him, like a second rounder or something. Just because he
at best.
But he is like a tool utility guy. Like we've played him on the top line as a right winger, and he's like fit in there fine. He's not going to drive a line, but he complements pretty much anywhere you play him, and he's willing to play fourth line penalty killing minutes. He's willing to, and he can chip in on the scoring when sometimes not reliably, but sometimes. So he scores. Thought it was a great start, and then it was just downhill. 3-1 loss to the Hurricanes. There's like, it's funny because
Hurricanes have had your number a bit.
Well, in the playoffs, we always have their number, but they're just a team that defends well and shoots everything. And we held them to low shots. Like I don't think they got over 30 shots, but it's just our team play as a whole. The Rangers are easy to play against. That's why like they want to bring in a guy like Rempe, because he makes it so that
a little more
teams
difficult.
Actually have to look over their shoulder instead of just being like, oh, who's forechecking me? Is it Benajad? What's he gonna do? He's gonna like do a one-handed sweep of his stick. Like that's not gonna do anything. It's so infuriating. But so they lose 3-1, divisional game. The Hurricanes continue to climb. The Hurricanes are in third in the Metro, but they have 9 points on the Rangers. I think maybe even 10. So like,
wow, they're a little slower this year, I guess.
Well, 10 points up is a lot, I would think, with the same amount of games played.
This is 4 wins.
Same amount of games played.
Oh, sorry, is it 4 wins? It's 5 wins. Yeah,
so
same amount of games win.
They have 5 more wins in the same amount of games. Like that's, especially when it comes down to like this spring when we're playing.
I guess so. The margins. Yeah, those are significant.
It's significant
when it comes down to it.
And I was just looking at the standings while you were talking about the Detroit games. Rangers are ahead of the Canadiens.
Yeah. I would have guessed
but they're like here and here. They're like right next to each other.
Right.
I think they played the same amount of games. Canadiens have like 32 or something points, and Rangers have 34. But
that's nothing.
No.
Yeah,
but like the way that my doom and gloom is, and the way that you're like, oh, we're playing so well. We just won 3 or 4 games, but we're still like right there. It's interesting. So lost to the.
We can fight for a spot.
Yeah, lost to the Hurricanes. It might legitimately be a battle of who ends up higher in the standings between us.
Yeah.
Both out of the playoffs, but who ends up higher? And I think you have a better chance because if the Rangers decide we're selling, we're not going to make the playoffs, they could totally drop off. And if you guys are fighting the whole time,
are you still in a retooling? Like how? You're still obviously retooling.
Listen. The message that was sent is like we're gonna start trading guys. Like we can't win, so we're gonna start trading guys. So, like, the retool is on for sure. It sucks because like, how do you get from an Eastern Conference final to retaining all but one player, Barclay Goodrow, and now all of a sudden you're retooling? It makes no sense.
Yeah. The drop off is pretty.
It's substantial and it's kind
insane.
Of uncalled for. So I'm just.
Yeah, because I think they're still a good team. They need to get it out of their own.
They're
heads.
A bad team. No, they're a bad team.
The potential of.
I'll say this.
Good is still there.
They have the skill to be a good team.
Yeah.
But the way that all these guys are playing and the way that they're acting as a team is a bad team and a bad team dynamic. So they need to switch it up. They need to get guys in there, and that's going to lead to more guys that I like being gone.
Why don't you call Perreault at this point?
He's in college. He's about to play.
Yeah, just drag him out.
No, it's not going to happen.
Maybe
I don't want to rush
him.
Maybe
at the end of the season.
I do not want to rush him. What's the point?
What is his second year, third year in college?
Second.
I
don't want to rush him. Like I'd rather.
We call up Caulfield after a second.
If they're going to suck and not have a good team culture, I don't want to poison Perreault with that.
Poison the youth.
Yeah. So that happens. A lot of messages are being stated after the game. just the same thing that we're talking about, kind of stale message of, oh, you got to play better, we just got to execute, we know how to do it, whatever. The guy who's been standing up and talking the most and sounding the most like the leadership in the room is Vincent Trocheck. And I think, honestly now, I think 99.99%, if they name another captain this year or next, which I don't think they'll do it this year, but it's Trocheck.
Yeah, they won't do it this year.
He has been the heart and soul guy. He has been the guy who is putting in the effort, even though he's not putting up points. But you could see that he's doing that. You could see that he's answering all the questions and being the one that gives the honest answer, but also the mature answer. And then leading into the Devils game, he fights Paul Cotter like in the first couple shifts of the game.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought Trocheck was
exactly. I was about to say, like,
drop the gloves.
Trocheck is he's a feisty guy, and he'll get in your face, like give you a face wash or whatever, like in a.
But he's a skilled forward.
But he's not one to just, he's not like Trouba, who's like laying guys out and being like, who wants it? So to see that's another push for him, I think, to be like, hey, I'm just trying to get the guys going. He talked about it after the game. He's like, I didn't plan it, but when there's things aren't going our way, and I know it's a tool that we have in our bag to like whip out to maybe try to get the guys going. That's how he saw it.
He's got heart.
And he did it. And he didn't win the fight by any means, but like to see one of your guys putting everything on the line, it seemed inspiring. Unfortunately, the guys didn't respond.
It was all for naught.
Yeah. Oh, and I don't want to forget big news coming out of this game. They had two matinee games back to back, so like a 1 p.m. and a 12:30 or something. Krieder was scratched for the Devils game, so like
a message. I thought it was a trade potential.
Well, so the roster freeze is happening, so they can't trade.
So it was a message.
But I think it was a message. It's just interesting, like, and Kreider's not been good. He's been, he has 11 goals and 1 assist, I think, which is like jarring.
He has more goals than Zibanejad.
Well, yeah, but what I was gonna say is they both have been playing bad. So like, if you're gonna pick one, I get that either one kind of works. But after the playoffs and the way that everyone talks about Krieder, it just seems like an interesting move, especially since they said they're gonna think about trading him. Interesting move to sit him and to still let Zibanejad get away with whatever he wants. Like I'm painting Zibanejad in like a negative light.
No, but I've seen a lot of Rangers fans pissed at Mika.
And like I don't think Mika's just there to be like, whatever, I made my money. Like,
yeah, I don't think so either.
But it's just like, hold him accountable.
Yeah.
And like they should have held him accountable before they held Kakko accountable, because Kakko was actually doing something. And like what, they're worried it's gonna
that's what I don't like.
Poorly?
The whole precedence of the Kakko trade to me was just like completely wrong. Because you got Krieder and Zibanejad, basically, they should be the scapegoats.
It's just easier to move a guy like Kakko. He's young, he has potential, he has teams that
What does that say to the other youngsters in the Rangers organization, though?
It says, hey, we're in turmoil, you might be sat, you might be traded. That's what it tells them.
What is Laff thinking?
Laff was locked up. He's not going to get moved.
Yeah, I know, but I would be interested to see what his thoughts are and like what he's thinking.
Yeah, I mean, he'll give you the generic answer. He's not going to give you the full, honest one. That's what the hockey players do these days. But so,
except for Laine, clearly.
Yeah, well, that's true. I want to hear more about that in your next game. But so the game gets out of hand super quick. It's 5-0. It's a drumming. I think the Devils
Hughes
go
getting
3 or 4 for 4 on the power play. Hughes scores. The Devils are clowning the Rangers. They're like putting stuff up on the the board. That's like the video of them drafting Hughes over Kakko, and like Rangers fans cheering for Kakko. Is total just like horrible to watch as a Ranger fan. And the fans, interestingly, at the Prudential Center, they're like chanting Igor even though Quick was playing, and like they were just
you're right, Quick was playing.
They were just like they were just clowning the Rangers at any chance they get, even if it didn't make sense really. But it was just kind of like, this sucks. The Rangers can't do anything. They had 12 shots all game.
No way.
Yeah.
That's surprising. Even for Montreal standards, that's very low.
It was bad, and you could tell Sam Rosen and Joe Micheletti and the guys in the MSG broadcast booth,
they were just having such a great time talking about it.
No, they were like, how do you do this to your goalie? How do you, like, Quick and Igor have been, and especially Valaket, who's like the goalie guy for us, he's like, I just can't imagine, like, these guys, Quick and Igor have been putting on clinics for you the last as many years as they've been here. And you just see odd man rush after odd man rush. And even 3-on-3 coming into the zone, you leave a guy wide open to pinch to try to, it makes no sense. I'd be disgusted. I don't know. That's why
I would have gotten rid of the defensive guy, whoever that is.
Yeah, it's just like if you get rid of one of your head coach's guys that he brings in, what message does that send
I would
to
say
him?
I don't give a.
I agree. I agree.
Lav, man, like we're taking him out.
It's horrible. It's horrible, and I agree with the disgust of being that pissed off. And you know, if I was a goalie, if I was Quick, like it sucks.
You just
Quick
signed him
so well.
You just signed him, like for the
Igor. Yeah, I know.
Well, for Igor's case.
So it was a horrible game. I watched the first period, and then I had it on while I was like closing my eyes because I was beat. And I'm glad I slept through the second period because, like, you know, you wake up, it's 4-0 or whatever. They keep scoring. The Rangers are lifeless.
Your heart drop.
You can't see 12 shots, dude.
Yeah, it's
horrible.
That's abysmal. That's bottom tier.
Like, could not get to the holiday break quick enough. And
maybe this will help them, honestly.
I'm expecting them the 29th to have a trade already in place for, like, some key guys. It just sucks.
Yeah,
Can't imagine.
I wouldn't have thought, like, the bingo card of the Rangers being as bad as they are was not on my list.
Oh my, no, me neither at all. I mean, it's like there were things at the beginning of the year I was calling out their defensive play in front of them. I'm like, looks awful, like awful.
Right? you were.
I was saying
you
it.
were
Like,
pretty prophetic on that.
Even when they were
in
12,
week 1,
yeah,
week 2,
even,
you were like that.
They were 12-4-1, and I was like, they're winning, but this looks bad. This is like not good. They're just letting up wide open chances, and now it's like, all right, now that's happening, and there's no scoring, and they can't win a game. It just like it seems like every game we go into, we're gonna lose.
Yeah.
And what's the answer? I don't know. That's it for me. I think I'm done with the doom and gloom.
Scratch Mika.
Yeah.
Fire the whole coaching staff.
I think you just got to scratch Mika until he requests a trade.
Kreider hopefully gets something good in return, like an NHL-ready player.
Can you imagine, like, if you could just scratch Mika every game until he's like, all right, I'll move.
See, yo.
You can do it.
You could do it.
And then it's like, where do you want to go? I'll give you 4 options.
So when it comes to those types of contracts, is it Mika being like, yeah, I don't want to be traded, or is it usually
in the contract? It's written that he doesn't have he cannot be traded to any team. He cannot be moved.
But who do you think says that? The player, like, I don't want to be traded. I want to stay in Ranger Town forever.
During the negotiation,
yeah.
Or what? I think that he probably talks to his agent. His agent's probably like, listen, I can try to go for a full no move, full no trade. And that will mean that you and your family, your young family at the time, can live here, grow here, and there's nothing they can do to, like, get rid of you. And so most guys are like, absolutely, I'll do that, because I don't want to move from here to Calgary.
Yeah, and at the time, Ranger Town is pretty, like...
Well, it's just anywhere. Like, even, like, let's say you have a good year, and then they're like, oh, contract year, okay, we're willing to give you $8 million, but you're fully movable.
Is he at 8? What's his?
He's like 8 or 8.5 or something. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, I'm done with this week. I'm glad we're at break 2 because I need a break from this horrible team. I'm excited for World Juniors.
You feel our pain now.
Yeah, but I want to talk about World Juniors. But I want you to do your last game first, and I want to hear before you go into your last game, what were the comments that Laine made, and how did that leak into the game? Because I didn't really see the full.
I didn't see it until I started watching the game, and they were just wailing on him already. So prior to the game, you know, the press does this press stuff, and especially approach Laine because obviously he was on the Columbus Blue Jackets for a significant amount of time.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I forgot it was like 4 seasons.
Yeah. But he was hurt for most of it.
He was hurt for most of it, so I call it like 2.5. But anyway, he mentioned, I guess he was asked about the Columbus Blue Jackets organization and, like, as a team, how they are and how he felt about that. And he mentioned they're a little too satisfied and comfortable with where they are, and how he wasn't a good fit in that, and how in Montreal it feels like whether they're winning or losing, it feels like they're playing their best. So I could see he's like, you know, he's European. He's the type of guy also to just say what is on his mind straight up, with some filter, but for the most part, like, just say what's on his mind, which I respect that about him. However, going into a game against that said team, at their home office. It's a bit tough to. I wouldn't criticize it too much, but I can see what he's saying. I mean, he's being an honest guy, which I appreciate. But the Blue Jackets team didn't take too kindly to those comments.
Werenski was pretty pissed. He's like, I don't know why he would say that about our team.
But who?
Werenski.
Oh, Werenski.
He had comments after. He's like, doesn't really make sense.
So, yeah.
Hope the best for him. He's like, I hope his mental state's fine, but like, that's pretty crazy.
I
was like, damn.
Yo, respect for Werenski for sticking up.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel. I don't think it's deserved what happened after. So on the ice, first period, he was being targeted by like multiple people, just like trying to hit him, trying to just do as much damage, whether it's a stick or body. I didn't like that. I think, honestly, it was a bit classless from Columbus.
Breaking news, Columbus classless.
Would we retaliate like that? To be honest, I don't think so, unless, if anything, it would happen in a fight between Arbor-Jacki and whoever. But
Texier, or who's the guy?
Olivier. But I think, were those comments bad? Maybe. Were they insulting to the Columbus team? Yeah. But to target a guy, targeting someone, especially within the first period, multiple times by multiple different people, I think that's pretty crappy. It's like,
then he left.
Come on, guys,
right?
get over it. And I guess they prevailed over us in the end with a 5-4 win. Close game. Probably, I was surprised. It was maybe because of the drama and also, I don't know, that beef, that it was just a fast-paced game back end to end from both squads, keeping it close, pretty much the same in shots. Also, we were down 2-0 at the end of the first, but climbed back up. Another thing actually is Jordan Harris, whom we traded for Laine, got his first goal
Dude,
this game.
That happens.
So that's karma for him.
Yeah, that happens to the Rangers like almost every time. I think if they play the Kraken again this year, Kakko's scoring.
Kakko's going to score.
For sure. He's going to have a hat trick.
Well, it happened with Wright, too.
Yeah.
Not the same situation, but almost the same because Wright was, pissed that he got passed up. Yeah. But Savard, Savard scored against his former team to make it 2-1, and then Jordan Harris scores off a big slapper from the point, 3-1.
Yeah.
Laine Hudson scores his second to make it 3-2 on the power play, up 26, as I said. Keeping it close. As a defenseman, love to see it.
Cool.
Rookie defenseman. This hasn't been done in recent Canadian history at all. So the first 35 games, I saw the stat that Laine Hudson was like above McCarr and stuff like that. So it's pretty hype.
Good to see.
It's pretty hype. And yeah, again, the fourth line getting in on it. Evan scores again in like 3 straight games he's been scoring. And again from Emil Heineman. Fourth line, amazing as is, but in terms of getting paid in the future, I think they'll get, if they keep it up, they'll be paid a lot more, and it'll be trouble to just keep them at the fourth line. Mm-hmm. And then Armia, fourth line again. Like, it's just like, it's good to see the depth scoring. I wish that Doc and Sue, don't want to put it all on Sue. It's actually good for them because, as you said, you don't want just the first line scoring. You got to have some compensation somewhere. And we were up 4-3 going into the third, and Columbus ties it pretty much 33 minutes into the third, and then Marchenko snipes it over Monty, who started again, respect, in the last 2 minutes or 2-3 minutes. A tough loss there, especially losing in the past 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And as I said, Patrick Laine he only played the first and then he left. Yeah. So they say it was upper body.
Yeah, but they probably don't want to rush him back, and they know that the break is coming. They're like, he'll have 4 days off, so just like
And Columbus had his number, so they were just going to...
Yeah, just let him sit.
Yeah.
Something
so
worse
it was a good
happen.
move. It was a good move.
Yeah. All right, well, that's a good week for you guys.
Good week for us, and hopefully take the break, and we could potentially make a push for a playoff spot down the last stretch. So this is a stretch really where sometimes teams really turn it around.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes teams go the opposite.
Well, yeah, like remember in 2018 or 19, the Blues were like the worst team in the league.
Right.
At the new year, they fired their coach, got a new one.
So wait, that actually could happen to the Rangers.
It could. I don't know, but it could.
Fire Laviolette.
Yeah. I don't
Trade Krieder.
Yeah.
Boom.
Potential, I guess.
Potential.
So that will, I agree. I know what you're talking about. This could be a turnaround point for a couple teams. Hoping it's the Rangers, but I don't know how they're gonna really.
It could be both of us.
It could be both.
Could be both.
But you've already seemed to be turning around. It's not like you're.
Well, it's good.
Like,
we
I
have
think
the
Rangers
momentum
are at rock
of
bottom
turning
right
it
now.
around.
And it could go lower, but it seems like they're at rock bottom.
I would be, maybe it's my habit of, or like scarce mentality when it comes to the Habs a little. In a way, I kind of miss tanking because it's like
what?
Guaranteeing a good player, pretty much like a top 5
Dude,
player.
You can't right now say you miss tanking after winning 3 games.
Yeah, but
it's fun to win.
But that's what the screwed up part of my brain is saying. It's like, all right, when is this gonna stop?
Yeah.
And when is it gonna be this 10-game losing streak or something like that, or just like a big...
You don't want that, dude. It's not fun.
Definitely not. But my brain is going there. It's like, all right, should we tank? Like, should we still tank?
You already have Demidov coming up. You already have some good players. You could always trade for good players.
No, you're right.
Our system prospects
is stacked.
are only so good for
Our system is stacked.
Yeah.
And our worry is we're being a little perfectionist when we say we should tank.
You should not tank
and get like a Michael Misa or Porter Malone or Higgins to secure that 1C or 2C future for like the 1-2 punch of Suzuki and X.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, Demidov, we got a Hage in the pipeline who's basically a point per game in Michigan. We got Owen Beck in Laval who's killing it, who's almost a point per game, but not quite. But his first year in Laval, he's killing it. We got a lot of players in the pipeline.
Yeah.
That is to say so.
Mm-hmm. So, little housekeeping. I think we're off next week. We're not going to be recording. If a trade happens, maybe we'll try to get together and just like
do an online thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that or are you away?
No, I'll be here.
Okay, I'm away until like the 30. I'll go 27th, 31st, but or first.
Are you back for New Year's?
No, I'm away.
Okay.
But obviously, what's going down? Not much NHL stuff in the next 4 days. But World Junior starts the day after American Christmas. You're gonna be.
I'm excited for that.
Full blown Canadian rooting or.
Yeah, I mean, I usually root for players that are in the Habs system.
Same.
Pretty much.
Who do you have? So
I actually don't know.
Instead of doing a stand-up, stand-out, call-out player who you want to do well, like I'm just gonna go World Junior a little bit right here. Gabe Perreault, obviously, I think he's top line on the U.S. team. Going to be watching him.
Who's he playing
very
with?
closely.
Do you know?
Probably, if not Smith and Leonard, then Higgins and. Smith
Leonard is the captain, right?
Yeah.
Brian Leonard.
Yeah. So.
He's gonna be good.
I think he's with those guys. Gonna watch that really closely. There's a couple of the other I think the Czechia team has some guys. The Slovakian team has Adam Sikora if he's playing. There's some good Rangers prospects there. So that's what I'm going to be watching for.
Significant Montreal. I could be way
Here,
wrong.
Look it up. Rasmus Bergqvist on Sweden. He's a defenseman.
Not gonna lie, I don't know who Bergqvist is.
After a few years with plenty of players in the tournament, Bergqvist will be the only Canadiens prospect at World Juniors.
Right.
Second to last pick in the 24 NHL draft. Played most of the season in SHL, and he's held his own there. He has some passing ability, but he's not overly dynamic. He won't be an exciting player to watch, but Habs fans will be having fun hyping him up anyway. So, God. Rasmus Bergqvist, is that what I said?
Bergqvist. I did not. 2024? Yeah, I did not know about.
Because there's only one. His name is Rasmus Bergqvist, and he's a
Sweden.
defenseman on Sweden. So that'll
Second to last pick in the 2024.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, that's. We had
watch
Hudson.
Him go off now.
Yeah, watch him be the best
MVP on the Swedish team.
We had Hudson last year, which was pretty exciting. America, right?
Yeah, Laine. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's not too disappointing. All our players are in the system, but the players that we care about are in our, AHL
True.
or NHL system.
I mean, we have. I know what we've had in previous years, and I think they're still young enough. Is like this guy Schmelosh.
Schmelosh.
Yeah, he's a Czechian.
Patrick Schmelosh.
No, it's the Yaroslav Schmelosh.
I don't know why it reminded me of Elias.
Elias, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's Sikora on Slovakia. Then there's Perot, and then I think there's a guy like
Perot is the one
McConnell
you'll be
Barker,
looking for.
Noah Labo is with us for a while. So there's some guys. I think Perot's the biggest guy though. If he lights it up, I'm gonna be so excited. It's gonna be awesome.
He's gonna be good.
Can't wait.
Is he a winger?
Yeah.
Nice.
Which great. We need centers. We need centers.
Yeah, you need centers.
Because Mika's so bad. All right. Well, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everyone.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for the likes and the views and the subscribe and everything. We've had some pretty good engagement with all the crazy Rangers and Montreal Canadiens stuff that's been going on. So keep liking. That helps our algorithm. That helps everything. Just helps YouTube promote us.
Yeah. So thank you for your support, and
thanks so much.
Happy holidays, guys.
Yep.